and you feel like you're in a rut and you want to move your playing up a notch, start playing in the modes. It's not that complex. Most teachers, in many instances, I think it's taught way. It could be taught in a much simpler fashion just by going through all the major scales, not learning all these different shapes. And that's another thing. If you're a guitar player and you're just learning shapes, I highly recommend that you start learning the notes on the neck and learning the intervals that you're playing, because you're going to be emphasizing certain notes and landing on certain notes over certain chords, and you want to emphasize that. The strong chord tones, the roots, the fifths, the flat sevenths, the thirds. And if you don't know these notes, you're playing, your ear will eventually take you there, but you really want to focus in on learning the neck, the notes, and the intervals. Okay? Just my opinion. So in this jam, I'll basically be playing over E to G to D to A. Real kind of rock kind of vibe. Alright, so a lot of people would just play E minor pentatonic over that, and it would sound, pretty good. But I'm suggesting try E Dorian, because Dorian will have all the notes in the minor pentatonic, but then those two extra notes, or outside notes, has the major second and the major sixth. Okay? So what that'll do is it'll kind of give you a whole new sound than minor pentatonic. So use minor pentatonic for a while, and then shift to Dorian and go back and forth. And in the jam, I'll play over it in a little bit, and you'll hear me shift back between E minor pentatonic and E Dorian. So what if you're saying, well, I don't know any E Dorian scales? Sure you do, because E Dorian is the same as D major. D like David. If you take a D major scale and you play it, the second note in a D major scale is E. So D major, same as E Dorian. So take all of your D major scales and play them over this jam. You're probably like, I can't play D major over an E jam. Sure you can, as long as you're shifting your root to the root of the mode, which is E. So try it. Try playing E Dorian. Lay those four chords down. E, G, D, A. Real heavy rock kind of vibe. And then try it, and you'll be amazed. You're like, wow, I'm playing major scales over this jam, and it doesn't sound stiff or sweet. It sounds very rock, or a little bit with a minor edge, and that's because you're not technically playing major scales. Once you shift off of that D note, okay, and you're not playing it from the D to the D, you're playing it from the E to the E, it now becomes Dorian. Okay, and that's all this mode of the major scale are just ways to manipulate or variations of the major scales. Okay, it's so easy if you just look at it like I'm going to shift to the root of the mode. Now you're going to have to find out. You can't use Dorian over every situation. Okay, I use Dorian a lot over minor chords. It sounds really good, especially minor seventh chords. I use Dorian a lot like in blues jams or any 1, 4, 5 major key blues, shuffles, and swings. I'll use Dorian. I'll use Dorian in any instance where I know I can use minor and major pentatonic, because that's what it does. It combines the minor pentatonic with the major pentatonic. I'll use the Dorian. And I'll use Dorian in any minor key jam when the 4 chord is a major. Then I'll blast Dorian over all the chords for the most part. Okay, so there's lots of different instances where you could use Dorian. So you got to know the scale, which is half, and the other half is you got to know the application. And I know I ran through it kind of fast because I only have 10 minutes here to bring you this little mini lesson, but if you want to study this more in depth, go to our lesson at go to our website at nextlevelguitar.com, and we have 250, almost 300 written lessons, video lessons with some written lessons and jam tracks, and we really talk a lot about this, as well as playing over each chord, treating each chord as a separate event as opposed to playing over the whole thing. Now I'm going to jam Dorian over E Dorian over all the chords right now, because the chords are moving kind of quick, so you don't have a lot of time to play over each chord individually. Plus I want you to hear the sound and listen for how I'm going to mix in minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, E Dorian. I'll play maybe some minor seventh arpeggios or E minor 9 arpeggios or whatnot, kind of mix in some arpeggios, and go from one to the next, and you can get all these different sounds and moods. All right. So check out our website. We have a free 3-day all-access site pass we're giving away right now. Go to the website nextlevelguitar.com and you'll see the free pass, and you can check out the site for 3 days, see if you like it, you know. And if you do, you could join on as a member. If not, no worries, it's free. And we want you to check it out and see if it's for you, because we want to help you with the guitar journey. And if you have any questions, email us. So check out the jam track, go to our website, and here's how the Dorian would sound.